What's up, guys? We're going to be working through the trick shot tournament here. This is for the pro division. So you can use any gear that you want. So hopefully you guys are updating your cues and updating your spin, stuff like that for the cues. Because that's one of the main things that we'll be focusing on for this. So here you can see the ball is over here. We are going to apply some spin, and you can see as we start to spin, see that it just comes around this ball. And other than that, you'll just want to kind of position towards the pocket. And there you can see we're able to get the one ball to fall by using a missé shot around the cue ball. There's also a way to jump as well in sets like that, but we're going to go over jump here. So hopefully you don't need backspin to jump. It's actually just cue angle that you need to focus on. So here you can see as I put it into the 40s. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'll give some guide on these as well. Really doesn't necessarily, not necessarily essential. We can point towards the pocket. And then you also see that we just kind of, let me use the correct amount of power where it's not, because you see this is where the cue ball's like jumping. So I'm going to put it back down here where it's a little bit more flat. And we'll just go for about 75 power there. And we're able to slide that in without issue. So that is how you finish that one. Let's keep rolling through these. What else has pretty decent guide? Try a few Voyagers, why not? Similar type shot. Similarly, we can jump this, so we don't have to put missé. But you can see with the missé. And the other thing that you could try to do, if you really wanted to, is you could do a kick shot, try to get your tiebreaker points up. But as you can see, as we set this, we'll just come in and we will apply a power that is going to be pointing this towards the hole. You can see it's a little unstable in this aim. So maybe I just slide over just a little bit more. So as you can see, as I slide over, it just kind of stabilizes. And maybe just a little bit extra power to try to keep it away from that pocket. If you do scratch, you are going to add a stroke to your score, so you definitely want to avoid that. Here you can see we're able to get these. Same thing here. We can go for raising the cue angle, putting this ball guide towards the hole. You do have to just be a little bit careful with your power number, as you can see. And there we go. Oh, and that's exactly what I was talking about. So there you can see we scratch. So you just want to kind of shift just a little bit so you don't scratch. So, you try to make just a little modification on what I did, and it won't shoot over towards that pocket. So do keep that tip in mind. However, there's, there should be, hopefully, enough room for you guys to win this tournament. Once people start coming into the brackets, hopefully it's not too bad. Let's just align this. You can see this is kind of my strategy. As we'll go into the 80s. 3D view, it's not the best for actually seeing the shot jump over. But it does help you with the alignment. As you can see, I can just kind of easily set that up. And look at this one. This has got, a lot of blockers here, so we can go right. Same thing, we'll just kind of go a light bend, nothing too severe. And you can see this is exactly what we're doing, is we just curve it enough to make the shot somewhere in the mid power. Try not to get that out of control or anything. And here's another nice little jump shot. And again, as I mentioned, technically we don't need that spin to jump. So it's kind of like a misconception. You might think you have to aim down on the cue ball. You don't have to. But the one thing that you might want to do, after you get positioned, just kind of align. You can see I'll just line up with the pocket with 3D mode. I can zoom back out. This is a little bit higher power, 96 power. And you can see we're able to jump those balls and pocket that. So the Trick Shot tournament is teaching you guys how to hit these shots. And if you guys don't have near the cue progression, I am going to put together another guide for you. So if you think these shots are a little bit too advanced for what you're capable of, I will put together another guide. But here you can see, look at this, as we are able to bend around with a lot of curl. Oh, I should have changed my cue angle. Should have pocketed that just a little bit different. As you can see, it ends up following into the pocket. So this is something that you can work through 2 or 3 times and just kind of hone in on, because you will want to make sure that you don't scratch after hitting these. Similarly, if you were doing this in 8-ball mode or whatever, it's just going to take some practice as well. As you can see, the more that I get used to the shot, the easier it becomes. And we're just going to shoot right around here. We curve it around. And sure enough, there it is. We're able to pocket that. No issue. And last but not least, one more jump. Similarly, like I mentioned, we don't need that backspin. It's kind of just like an extra thing that you don't need to apply. So if you want a little bit more control, and you can see right around 80 some power, and you can see this just keeps the cue ball from going too out of control, zooming towards pockets, anything like that. So definitely keep in mind with your spin. Those are as you can see, easy for you guys to get through this. The one thing that you'll want to maybe try to focus on is tiebreaker. So one of the things that you can do on some of these is you can try to intentionally take it off other balls, stuff like that. It's going to increase your tiebreaker score. And I'll work through that on the next guide. I'll work through trying maybe just a little bit more tiebreaker, just so you guys can see just a little bit, variations that could just kind of help you guys a little bit. But we're going to use a little bit worse gear in the next version. So if you guys think these cue shots were a little bit too extreme, I'm going to do a little bit nerfed cue, and you'll see that the ball, I can't use as much spin. I can't use as much cue angle. So if you are looking and your cues aren't quite as advanced, feel free to check out that other guide. So best of luck out there, and see you guys on the next guide coming up.